Welcome all soldiers to the Fantasy Football War Council's podcast. Here are your co-hosts, Jonathan Arneson and Daniel Gutierrez.
Welcome back, soldiers, to another episode of the Fantasy Football War Council. I'm Jonathan, and with me today is my co-host, Daniel. How are you today, Daniel?
I'm doing fantastic. Every day talking about football is a great day on our podcast and in general. Life is good. It is COVID-y and we are locked in, and it gives us more time to work on our podcast. So those are very good things. We actually have a special podcast today. It's only our second podcast, but we do have a couple of guest speakers here. I would like to introduce you to our first guest, and his name is Jared Slayman. He is the manager of Lincoln's Renegades, and he is the previous Golden Princess holder for our league, which is the last place trophy. Jared, would you like to say anything to our public?
Yeah, first of all, that was like last year, not this year, which I believe is our other guest, but I'll bring that up later. But yeah, it's good to be here recording with you guys in our fantasy football league. You know, I know it's new, but we've been doing this league forever, so it's just good that we're having a little more fun during the off season, just having a little banter here and there. So I'm looking forward to talking some more football and hearing what you guys have to say.
And with us, our current Golden Princess, our last place manager, 3 sheets to the win, Mario Gutierrez. Welcome, Mario, to the show.
Greetings, and I prefer the term pretty princess, thank you very much. I went from first to dead last. Yeah. So I have my name on 2 trophies in 2 years, and Todd Gurley was a huge factor in both of those trophies. I want to thank him and want to teach him how to run at the same time.
Do you think you could outrun him, though?
No. I said teach. Those who can't do, teach. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm going to tag him again this year for some reason. And as my team name suggests, cheers. Join me, 3 sheets to the wind. And may all of you not pick someone who feels like they have to go out and, say, break a leg.
So as he said, in this podcast, we're going to be going over the tags that managers chose for the 2020 NFL season. This is our Civil War Fantasy Football League. It has been going on since 2005, I believe. I've been a member of this league since 2012. It's a good group. I think we have great rules and a great league. And, so we'll be going over those tags. After that, we will be going over our first official power rankings, and then we have a game to play with our guests as well.
But first, some news around the league. The NFL is going to have no preseason games this year. What effect will this have on our fantasy football teams? Young rookies, do they lose out those camp battles that we love to watch? Do teams lean on the veteran players that they have? What are your guys' thoughts?
I think it's the first step to getting rid of preseason altogether. They have an excuse to get rid of it this year. They've been wanting to get rid of it and extend the season. And I think that's just kind of, they're going to see how, it didn't matter the first couple of weeks. It's going to be the teams learning more since they didn't have that preseason. And then they're going to jump into the season. But I think that, it's going to be like week 4 when the real season starts. But that's my opinion. What about you guys?
Oh, I completely agree.
I'll be sad.
I think that it's going to extend the non-football season, which will be sad, John. However, I think that the players will enter the real season healthier. And I think that we're going to see a big change in IR. I think that the production may go up, but also I think that it's going to make football a little more exciting because coaches will be forced try their schemes out with new players earlier than they would have liked, without scrimmages, without those other things, and like I said before, without the injuries. So I'm actually looking forward to it.
Well, for me, I kind of like the preseason. I feel like the players that you're not quite sure about yet aren't going to get the time that is necessary to fully evaluate, in my opinion. As far as the veteran players, the players that why did you want to play them in the first place? Maybe to possibly loosen them up a little bit. It's preseason. You're not going to get hit that hard, I don't think, all the time. Players know this, in my opinion, so they're not going to go all out. But those players that want to earn a spot, this is their time to shine. Like, it's make or break. You either earn it, thrown to the wolves, or you die trying. That's for those players. It's a necessary need to get on that field and make a name for themselves. So I feel bad at that situation.
I think you're right. I'm going to miss watching the position battles for those rookies coming in. I mean, those will happen, just they'll happen mid-season, later season. They're not going to happen earlier, so.
Yeah, that's all you got, training camp at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's going to change our legacy league. I think will suffer because as we go for rookies in that league to have them early, I don't think they're going to produce till later on in the season than they are currently because of that.
Yeah.
I just think that overall we're going to see with just 16 games, it's going to be nail biting. We're not going to see it really come out to prove us who's going to be coming up or not. So we're going to have to do even more research on it. And I really am looking forward to seeing how that changes the coaches going up on each other.
Yeah. In other news also, that'll affect, fantasy coming up this season is there's a lot of stadiums that are saying that they're either going to be closed to the public or fans or limiting their capacity to like 10,000 like they talked about at Lambeau Field. The fantasy implications are there also because now you don't have the fans creating the noise on the field, so offenses are going to be able to communicate a lot better, and it might actually be giving an edge to the offense this season. That's something that I find interesting, and it's going to be something that'll be, to really keep an eye on as we go forward through the season, I think.
Yeah, I think that's going to change a lot. I mean, a 25% stadium capacity, even if they do, and I know there's teams that are already said they're not going to allow their people in the stadium while they play. I was watching baseball today in an empty stadium. I mean, it's got to be great for the players because they can actually concentrate more on the game and not be distracted. But part of the game is those distractions of the people there. And that's the experience you're going to lose out on. It's going to games and having fun and the tailgating and everything that goes with it. I know we have a fellow tailgater of the Los Angeles Rams in our group here today. So
all day, every day, baby, LA.
Next in our news, AB retires again. Is this the third time it's happened? Fourth time? Anybody keeping count?
He's just trying to keep his name active. Nobody's going to touch him with a 10-foot pole. Probably even longer than that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Some other news that came up a while ago, but since our last podcast, Patrick Mahomes has signed a 10-year, $450 million contract up to $503 million with incentives included. The first $500 million professional athlete contract. And then after they finished that up, 2 days later, Chris Jones was able to sign for an $80 million contract because of how friendly Patrick Mahomes' contract is for the team in the beginning of his career and the end of that 10 years. He really did leave money on the table to help the team. This is a guy that's out for championships, and he made Chris Jones' contract viable to hammer out this offseason by structuring the contract that he did. So kudos to Mahomes. It's about winning more than it's about what he can get out of the league while he's here. Any thoughts with anybody else?
I think 10 years is a long time, but for a player to come out and structure his contract to take less money to help give the team more to work with for his weapons, I think that's an amazing thing to happen. I mean, we've seen it do it with Tom Brady. We've seen Peyton Manning do this. I mean, teams win when they give more money to elsewhere.
Yep.
It's a great thing when you see a player be a team motivator like that. It really shows that he's there for the team, I think. It's fantastic to see that.
Yeah.
Cam Newton has found a new job with the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick has seen something here, and I'm thinking power run scheme. So, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, he's taken the base salary, and he's got some incentives to make more. But, I mean, do you think Bill Belichick is a genius? I mean, do you think he's doing something? He's pulling something. They're going to do something.
Pats are going to fall on their face, period.
I think without a doubt.
I like I like how you went from one overpaid QB to the next.
Wow. Throwing fire over there.
No. No, I think Cam has been sliding.
I think that the Pats are going to come out with a power run offense. They're going to be coming out in 12 personnel, and they're just going to bludgeon people. They've got a large stable of consistent running backs, And now they have Cam Newton, who is arguably one of the biggest running backs in the league that happens to be able to throw generally pretty well. And it's just going to throw people off. Everybody's coming out in sub packages. You know, everything's nickel and dime defenses. They've got smaller, faster personnel, and the Patriots are just going to come out and beat up people. It's going to be 1980s football, and nobody's ready for it because everybody's streamlined to be faster and spread the field. It'll be really interesting to see, but that's my theory on what they're going to do with Cam. In other offseason news, the Washington Redskins will be changing their name. They have not decided on what their name will be or what their logo is. I think online the favorite are the Washington Warriors. It'll be really interesting to see what they look like, what their colors are, what their logo is going to be. If they're changing their colors completely or keeping a few of them. It might be interesting to see what kind of revenue the team generates from their fans that are staying with them, that are going to be buying the new equipment and the new, jerseys and swag from the team. Everybody's going to have to gear up to be, what their new team is. So it's going to be really interesting to see where that goes.
Before we go over tags, we wanted to touch on some of the notes for the upcoming fantasy season for our league, things that we may encounter along the way. We're going to expand the IR spot from 1 to 3, and this is a testing period. I mean, we don't know what COVID's going to do to players. We're trying to accommodate to at least your franchise players at this moment. Maybe during the season we reevaluate and open up more spots, but we don't know how many players are going to be taking sickness breaks from COVID. I mean, what it'll do to our fantasy season. So we're going to try and stay fluid and accommodate to that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's with whatever IR spot, it might be COVID spot instead of IR, whatever designation the platform that we use happens to give us, and the designation that the league does. But the bottom line is that we'll have some bench spots available to be able to put those players in that won't be able to play for a minimum of 2 weeks after they do have the exposure. The other things that we've been talking about is, we're going to keep the league going. If it ends early or if it doesn't happen, then all the money goes back that was collected at the league. Everybody gets refunded for this year. If it ends early, then the champion will be the one with the best record, with the tiebreaker being points. And then we'll go from there. If we need a third tiebreaker, we'll have a discussion between the league and the commissioners to figure out what that might be. But those are some of the things that we're doing to prepare.
And lastly, we wanted to institute some kind of shaming ceremony for the last place. I mean, just handing them a tiara and a trophy isn't enough. Recently we've used the Fantasy Footballers Wheel of App to kind of shame things between, but we wanted to add something. I even knew of a friend in another league that the loser of their league goes to Union Station and plays a particular instrument until they have a certain dollar amount in the hat in front of them. So, I mean, there's something that really shames the people it's last place. We got to make it fun, right? So,
ooh, I say last place pays for first place is next year's.
No. And do you really want Mario to be taking that billfold every year? Come on, no.
Don't get last place.
Mario's gonna be down there for a while if he keeps, tagging. Hey, if you want your brother's money to be going to someone else's pocket, that's your choice.
It'd be pretty fun. Hey, well, if you think it's going to be him, then you have no objection then, right?
Shut your mouth.
Well, if he loses, then it's his choice,
That's a nice segment into our first segment.
Absolutely. So our first segment is we're actually going to go over the tags. We're going to go over our tags for each team. We have 3 tags per team, 2 offensive, 1 defensive. We do have an IDP league. Our defensive players are heavily weighted on their points, so they are very important to your team. What we're going to do is we're going to go in the order of, let me rewind a little bit. We have 2 divisions in this league. We have the North and the South because it's themed for Civil War. What we're going to do is we're going to go in the order of first place, so their division's going to go first. So it'll be first place team and then the second place person in that division and so on and so forth. And then when that division is finished with those 5 teams, because we have a 10-team league, it'll go into the North, which will be the second place team of our league, and then the second place team of that division, and kind of continue down from there. The rankings that we use to build these are from fantasypros.com. We are able to input into that website what our league scoring is, and that gives us a much more accurate depiction of where the players should be slated according to the scoring structure that we have. So without any further ado, we will let the champ take the floor, and I hope it's the last time I ever have to say that, and we'll let him introduce his team, which is a beast of a team already, and we haven't even started the season.
Well, we know it's not the last time. Let's be honest here. So
He's our version of our league Patriots.
I am.
Mistakes are made. Remember, you were born.
That's just me. My team is the SC Slave Runners. I was first place in the league and first in my division. I have Christian McCaffrey, running back 1, Josh Jacobs, running back 10, and Devin Bush, linebacker 10. Boys?
Ooh, ooh. So, linebacker 10, Devin Bush. Where'd you get him from? Me.
Well,
Thank you for that trade.
it was a 10th round pick. You're welcome. I thank you because I had Luke Kuechly, and to have your stud linebacker that you've tagged for the last 8 years retire on you, it puts you into a real off-season scramble.
Yeah, you definitely got the lesser of the Devons out of that trade, though, so that I'm still happy with that. Your team's a beast. Your team is beastly with McCaffrey and Jacobs. You got 2 top 10 running backs. You've got a very possible top 10 linebacker on here. But I think the biggest thing for your team is you have 3 first-round picks. You have 1, 5, and 10 because of other players that you traded away during the season that you've had tagged for a while. You worked it well. I mean, you crushed it this last season. I think you got the championship in hand already with the teams that you've got and the picks that you have. It's unfortunate because you've been dominating for so long and we're all sick of it. But yeah, Jared, tell us what your thoughts are on his team.
Well, for one, I'm going to make it easy on you. Forget McCaffrey, all right? This guy is just ridiculous. I offered him 5 picks for this man. 5 picks. 2 of them were in the first round, and the other 2 were in the second round, and then he had the third round. That's what I offered this guy. He said no.
Well, it's split up over 2 years, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you're not wrong.
that's
You're
all
not
I have to say on
You're not wrong.
McCaffrey.
You did.
But Josh Jacobs, the thing with me is, is he gonna use in the passing game? Who knows? He's a great young guy coming into it. He has all the possibilities, and I think he can. But is he gonna get those passing touches? I don't know. We will see if Gruden wants to. Yes or no? I don't know. But Devin Bush trading for that with a 10th. Yeah, I gotta say it's a great pickup. It at least gives us a little more oomph at the end of his roster there. But I mean, those 2 first back-to-back running backs are amazing studs. They speak for themselves, obviously. Mario, what do you think, bud?
Well, I agree. Christian McCaffrey is a 1 in a million. He's incredible. He can hit every part of the field. I'm surprised he's not throwing touchdowns the way Edelman is. And he's pretty much there everywhere you look. So even without Cam Newton there, the man is going to be a beast. He could be even more so as the team tends to lean more on him. I just think he's incredible. The DJ Moore, I think this season without Cam Newton there will start to take some touches away. But with his overall versatility, he'll be everywhere on the field, and I think they're going to hit it in a good one too, and really dominate in ways we didn't see last year. And then Josh Jacobs. I mean, there's something to be said for someone who does really well in an offense where their own QB cries on the field. So, I mean, it's I think he's going to be a really special pick for John. And I think he's going to do really well this season, even after they picked up a new running back to go up behind him who doesn't know how to check the chamber of his own assault weapons as the feds come in. I think Josh Jacobs is going to do well as well. Devin Bush, he's the lesser of the 2 Pittsburgh, and I don't think Pittsburgh knows how to do offense without an offensive sexual predator behind center. So I just don't know what they're going to... I think the defense is going to be on the field a lot. And this is going to be a solid team for John that he's going to be able to shop like crazy during the first round to add to. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. and we can only hope that someone's going to come down with a sniffle and be rejected for 2 weeks.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
Oh man,
I appreciate that. I accept because it may happen. You never know. And even with all my picks, they could all bust. So you never know in fantasy football. But I love my team. And I got to say, the first year when I traded for Christian McCaffrey, it was a first, second, and a third round to Rogers Hardware. I did not even give it a second thought without what it would do to my draft. And I thought it would cripple me, but I didn't care. This kid was worth it. So, and it didn't. He didn't even cripple it. So.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree because Cam lost his depth last year and teams planned for it. I think we're going to see more of the field. Yep. And he can catch and he can be versatile. And so with him and DJ Moore, and someone who can throw to them and really be accurate and select other targets, I think I think they're really going to come out as someone who is getting a lot more passing yards than last year, and I think that's going to help McCaffrey's numbers a lot.
You know, on that too, I think that Teddy Bridgewater, who's now the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, is a better passing quarterback than Cam Newton is, and I think that there's a distinct possibility that McCaffrey might be better this year because of the offense that they're going to be putting around Bridgewater.
Kid has better hands than his father did. So, I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, which is saying a lot. Our next team is the manager is Raj. It is Rogers Hardware. He was third place overall, second place in his division. His tags are Nick Chubb, RB8, Delvin Cook, RB5, and Bobby Wagner, LB6. John, what do you think about this team?
This team scares me. I want to say I like it because when you stack 2 top 10 running backs, it's awesome. And it's something that should make you feel really comfortable about your team. But when I see Nick Chubb, he's splitting the backfield with Kareem Hunt. When I see Dalvin Cook, he's screaming holdout. And whenever you have a player screaming holdout nowadays, they're actually going to sit out. I mean, Le'Veon Bell, Melvin Gordon, these things really scare you. So, but Bobby Wagner, safety, security, you got linebacker 6. I mean, I really like it. Nick Chubb is running back 8 and Dalvin Cook running back 5. I don't know.
Okay, so I think this is the worst set of keepers of anyone in the list.
Wow.
Just because you got Kareem Hunt coming in, who they've already said so much press that they're really impressed with him. We all saw what he could do last year, and I really am looking at the whole Cleveland plan and looking at what's going on there. You got Jarvis Landry to sneak some of the defense away in the middle of the field, just enough for people to really break out and go through. And if you give Kareem Hunt those 2 steps, I think he's going to take a touchdown. And I think they're going to see this. And so Nick Chubb is a fantastic running back. I think he's one of the best smash mouths out there. And he's versatile. He's not just smash mouth. So I think he's fantastic. However, Kareem Hunt is a special talent. And he is going to go to town out there. And I think he's going to take way, way more of the load than people think he is. And then with that, you're going to have an Odell Beckham Jr. who's coming back healthy. I think with the arrogance of their quarterback will be the downfall of their running backs if they weren't so damn talented. And I think he's going to start throwing the ball a whole lot more this year with a healthy receiver core. And I think it's going to draw from the running back game. And I think Chubb is going to be the one who suffers from that. So I think that's a rough pick there. Delvin Cook, he could be amazing if he stays in and plays. If he doesn't and he holds out, this is really scary because he could do 8-10 weeks and really screw over Rodgers' season. And then you're looking at Bobby Wagner, who I've looked at, and when you look at his games over the past years, 2 years ago was his peak, and he's come over that crest, and he's having 10 less tackles than he was 2 years ago, 1 less than last year, which isn't much, but I'm seeing a pattern here where he's doing 60 tackles between 2014 and 2015. Then he's doing 80 tackles between 2016 and 2017. And then 2018, 2019, he's doing only 70 each year. And then I think this is when he drops back down to 60 again and becomes a really good linebacker you want on your team, who's going to be a good coach for your younger players. But I don't think he's going to be as fantasy worthy as he was in previous years. So Raj's team really scares me when I look at the picks.
For me, I'm going to keep it honest. I agree with you and I disagree with you. Nick Chubb, I will say I think he is definitely one of the pure runners out there. He can hit you everywhere. Do I think Kareem Hunt is going to hurt his fantasy points? Without doubt. Yeah. That's what scares me about Nick Chubb, is that he is going to have Kareem Hunt. And you touched a nice thing on Baker Mayfield and the passing game coming back. Definitely. Dalvin Cook though, that's the thing that scares me, is that holdout. I've had the experience with Melvin Gordon. You either take a gamble or you don't. You can't really go either way about it. But if a player is screaming that in your ear, you got to listen to him, because he can hold out. Le'Veon Bell did it, and he got what he wanted. He did exactly what he wanted. Melvin Gordon obviously said it. Only did 4 games. But Bobby Wagner, veteranship, man. Look, the guy's on the field every game. You can't diffuse that situation. He's always there for you. He's got stability there for you. It's a safe bet. His tackles may go down, but that fluctuates for every player. He's had 10 tackles 2 years ago. Who cares? He's there at least playing the game, and that's what's going to matter for you, I think. And that's my opinion on both of them, but I love Bobby Wagner. The Dalvin Cook scares me a little bit, and Nick Chubb does kind of scare me with that split backfield. Daniel, what are you thinking, though?
I'm glad I'm going last on this one. I think that, I had Chubb last year. I had some shares of him in different leagues, and he was stellar through the first 9 weeks. And when Kareem Hunt came back, his numbers didn't drop that much. They used Kareem Hunt in a different way. I think personally that Nick Chubb is the best pure runner in the league. He has led yards after contact for 2 years in a row, and he's only been in the league for 2 years, and it's not even close. He's very talented. And on that team, I think it's a really big deal that their new head coach is Stefanski. When Stefanski was in Minnesota last year, they ran the most play action out of all teams. 80% of all of their passing downs came out of play action. The second most accurate quarterback out of play action last year was Baker Mayfield. It's going to be a big difference. When they're running that play action, the running backs are going to be setting their tone for their offense. They're going to run play action, and they've got the receivers to get it done too. I think with that coaching change, it's a very underestimated offense with what they can achieve. I think that hire was playing to the strengths of their team, and I think Chubb could have a pretty good season. And I think, honestly, Kareem Hunt could have a decent season too. They could have 2 top 15 running backs on that team, and having shares of their starter is really good to have. Dalvin Cook is terrifying. He's holding out is absolutely terrifying. You don't know how long it is. Dalvin Cook, when he's on the field, is a fantastic running back. He will do everything that you ask him to do at a very high level. He'll put up those fantasy points. I love his little dead leg juke that he does on people when he changes the angle. Nobody's been able to figure it out. It's just something that he does instinctually. It's awesome. But he's had injury history. He's holding out also. He could hold out half the season, come back for 2 games, and be out the rest of the season, and I wouldn't be too surprised, because that's kind of a Dalvin Cook season right there. So that one does scare me. Respect to Dalvin Cook. You couldn't be doing what I couldn't be doing what you're doing out there at all, but that's kind of the truth of what we've seen over the last few seasons with him. And I think Bobby Wagner is just solid. He's got a couple risky tags which have very high upside, and Bobby Wagner was the safe side. He's consistent, even if he's getting anywhere from 60 to 80 tackles in the season. He's still going to have pass breakups. He's still going to have assisted tackles, and he's still going to have sacks. So he is the key to that defense, and as long as he's on the field, he's going to be doing really well.
I like that Bobby Wagner pick. All right. Our next manager is Jose. Union Ambush finished in 4th place. He is 3rd in the South Division. He tagged Alvin Kamara, running back 4, Michael Thomas, wide receiver 1, and Jamal Adams, safety 1. Jared.
I like it, and it scares me. Having two tags on the same team, but the good thing is they are both in different positions, which is fantastic because you cover both grounds, both positions. You really can go after what you want, I think, in your first round pick here, which is great. Alvin Kamara is awesome, great running back, and Michael Thomas. I mean, Michael Thomas does everything and anything you ask. And Jamal Adams is just pure solid. He's a good safety. But I'm a solid linebacker guy. I like linebackers in my positions for at least a tag on defense. They're all over the place. They're in the run game and they're in passing game. So for me, it's always a solid bet to usually pick up a linebacker. But I mean, it's Jamal Adams, a strong safety pick. So that's a good solid pick right there. I like it. What about you, Daniel?
You know, Kamara had a down year last year. I know that he was playing with a little bit of a growing and then a hamstring, but he continued to play. I don't think it's going to be this year also. I think he's going to come out and he's going to show that last year was an anomaly, and he's going to come out and kill it. You know, Michael Thomas can't guard Mike, right? He's just consistent. He's not the fastest guy in the field, but man, his route running and his suddenness and quickness coming out of his routes, he just finds ways to create separation. He's a genius when it comes to zone, sits in the zone and waits, and Breeze isn't the kind of quarterback to miss that kind of thing. So, you know, they're on the same team, so you worry about bye weeks and all of that. But, you know, if he picks up Breeze in the draft, he's basically got one of the best offenses in the league as his 3 top players on his team, because the ball goes to those 3, and that's it. And Taysom Hill here and there. So, you know, with the addition of Sanders there as well, Emmanuel Sanders, he's going to take the top off the defense a little bit. He's not as fast as he used to be, but he's still there. It's going to open things up for Michael Thomas too, and it's also going to bring another player out of the box because they faced 8-man box a lot last season. So, you know, that's going to really help the Saints also. Jamal Adams, you know, I respect the man's game. He is the best strong safety in the league, I believe. But he's not happy in New York. He wants a trade. He wants out. Talking about possible holdout. There's just too much turmoil there. And when Union Ambush, Jose, he had Derwin James on his team also. I would have picked Derwin James in a heartbeat over Jamal Adams just because of the uncertainties that are coming up in the season. And Derwin James is the safety 2 in our rankings, and he is phenomenal. He's super solid. Coming into his 3rd year. You know, him and Jamal Adams are in the same draft class, but I was really sad when we didn't pick up Derwin James in the draft, and he fell as a gift to the Chargers at 17. That's the only thing that I would change. But overall, same team, don't care. I think these are great picks, and I would bet that he's going to target Drew Brees in the draft. What do you think, Mario?
Oh, I definitely agree that I think Brees is going to do a similar year to last year, which wasn't nearly as much yardage as he's used to. However, it's still pretty damn good, and you're still a top 10 QB, and that can still carry you through wins and get you to the end of the championship. Kamara, I mean, as his piercing denotes in his septum, he is a bell cow. That guy can carry it through, and he'll run through, he'll juke, he'll do completely horizontal movements I didn't know were capable of a human being. And he's amazing and beautiful to watch. He's like a gazelle just skipping free around lions. He's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
He reminds me of Bruce Lee quote. Every time I see him run, it makes me think of Bruce Lee's
right?
Be like water. You know, water flows and water hits and smashes and erodes and it flows. It's the way that he runs. It's
really
beautiful.
is. And coming back healthy, I think COVID is actually helping some players because they've had to exercise on their own, be completely strict on the nutrition, and come back much better players than they were at the beginning of season last year. Thomas, I think he's going to slip about 9 places, and I don't think that's because of his ability or anything like. I think Drew Brees is throwing less long passes, and I think we're going to see more of that this coming season. And I think Thomas is a fantastic receiver. I don't think anyone can dispute that. But I think he's going to drop back a little bit.
Wow.
I still think he's worth tagging. I think he's amazing to tag, and he's going to do really well this season. But I think there are other people who are going to come up and take the reins in there. Jamal Adams, I agree with Daniel completely on I'd rather pick the other safety over him with the speculation. Safeties are already a risky pick, so for me, I'd rather go with a safer one. Because I'd rather go with a top DE or LB. LBs are easy because they get way more tackles. In a defensive league, I think I'd rather go that route.
I like it. I mean, it's a good team. Yes, I am a little scared by the same bye week. I mean, they're on the same team, so it's the same bye week. But especially if he drafts Drew Brees, you better have some bench spots ready for your bye week. But I mean, it's a good team. He's gonna still stay a solid team. He's got great tags, and he's got 2 picks in the first round draft. So he made some moves himself. So I like where he's moving.
Yeah, our next team is Ali's team. It's called Stonewall Your Face. He was in 5th place overall, 4th place in his division. His tags are Patrick Mahomes, QB1 in our rankings. Marlon Mack, RB 43 in our rankings. Darius Leonard, LB1 in our rankings. Solid. What do you think, John?
I mean, this is tough. I like Patrick Mahomes. I'm not sure I would have tagged a quarterback, but staring at his next tag, running back 43, that really starts to worry me. Somebody's not watching offseason news and realized that the Colts drafted a 2nd-round rookie. Darius Leonard, linebacker 1, solid tag. I like it. Good rounded team. You need to draft some help, my friend. Good luck with your team. Jared, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. Let's just not lie about that. He's a generational quarterback, and I think we're seeing that right there with him. Marlon Mack could be a bust, or could be fantastic. When you need something to light a fire under a broken stud, you sit there, you bring in the new young stud, right? You either do your job or you're out of a job. So it could be either really good or bad for him. On Marlon Mack, I'd like to see how that's going to play out actually in Indiana. It's a fantastic battle. I'm actually going to keep my eyes on. Darius Leonard, I have him in my other in our keeper league. Full keeper dynasty league. Besides Corey Littleton, I think he is by far one of the purest linebackers out there. He's all over the place. He sees it well. But the thing is I think the Colts have a new offense, and I think that's going to hurt the defense with that. But other than that, I love the pick of Darius Leonard. I can't say any more about it. Daniel, what are your thoughts, bud?
Given what he had on his team, I do like the Patrick Mahomes pick. I think if you're able to get a top tier, like the number 1 quarterback and a top tier running back, you got a pretty solid season ahead of you. Especially, he's got the number 1 linebacker. Darius Leonard was a steal in the 2nd round for the Colts, and he fits their scheme perfectly. He has got a ton of chips on his shoulders because of his collegiate career and how he feels like he's been disrespected the first couple years of his career in the league. But the big question mark, Marlon Mack, man, when they drafted Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack fell down the depth chart, I think. Jonathan Taylor is a very talented back. They're probably going to be running back by committee, and that's best case scenario for Marlon Mack. That's just a little bit of a confusing tag there. So he's definitely going to have to pick somebody up in the 1st round that's going to cover that running back's hole that he gave to himself, and possibly a wide receiver, and then try to find somebody else on the back end. What do you think, Mario?
Well, I completely agree with Jared and you on Darius Leonard. I think what a talent. I think that was the absolute best pick he could have made on defense. I just look at Marlon Mack and I see no future. I see Trent Richardson and I see Marlon Mack going that way, and I had Marlon Mack for a while in last year's league, and he did okay, which is better than most Colts running backs have done in a while. And now you're drafting someone who's now you're drafting someone even better behind him, what are they going to do? Are they going to be smart about it and do committee? Yeah, and I don't think so. I think the brass is still the brass. The coach has changed up, thank God. I think Marlon Mack is going to find himself to be some sort of Chargers pick-me-up on some other team where he'll do well. I think that Jonathan's going to come in and be the main guy. And Patrick Mahomes, I couldn't disagree with John Moore. I think he is a generational quarterback, and he's going to do really well. He's really grounded. He's really talented. And I think he's got the space to air the ball. So I think 2 out of 3 are great.
I'm not disputing that he's a bad quarterback. The kid's going to finish as a QB1. I try and place my tags elsewhere. But I'm also someone that has tagged a quarterback for previous years, so I have no judgments in this situation.
I think that's a good point that you bring up about the coaching, Mario, with Marlon Mack. You know, Frank Wright won the Super Bowl with the Eagles with running back by committee. So, you know, it's definitely a possibility. I just think that Taylor is much more talented than Mack is coming in, and it'll be an interesting battle to watch throughout the season.
Yeah, I think so. All right, I'm 3 sheets to the wind. My tags are Miles Sanders, Todd Gurley, and Nick Bosa. Go, Daniel.
I think you forgot to mention that you were 10th, last place in the league this last year.
Oh, no, I told you I was the pretty princess.
I meant when you're reading your team. It needs to be mentioned as much as possible. I didn't do much better, but it still needs to be mentioned as much as possible.
Yeah, you golden princess.
You know, Miles Sanders is boom or bust. I think he's got a solid chance to lead that backfield over there, but I think Philadelphia is going to be, you know, backfield by committee also. Todd Gurley, he really doesn't have any competition in Atlanta, but I just really worry about his knee. And Nick Bosa was a stellar player last year as a rookie. He just had great games and then dry spells, and then great games and then dry spells. And by that, I mean, like, in our league, defensive players are weighted pretty heavily. He would have like a 40-point game, and then he would go 3 games where he would score like 9 points. And then he'd have another 40-point game. And it was really hard to kind of gauge where he was going to come out. I think after, you know, coming into his sophomore year, he's going to even that out. And when teams scheme against him, he's going to do a lot better. I really think that you have a high-end defensive pick, and I think it's really high ceiling, really low floor for your running backs. What do you think, Jared?
I mean, I'm going to say, obviously, I can't disagree with you here. Being a longtime Rams fan, obviously, Todd Gurley. No offense, I know what you paid for him, but I think it's time to let go. Snip that one in the butt. That is my personal opinion. You know, being a Rams fan, we already did that. So that goes without saying. Miles Sanders, though, I definitely agree with you, though, Daniel. I think it is going to be by committee there. But it's worked for him. It's worked for him for a couple years now, and they keep doing it. And, you know, we see it in New England. We see it a couple times. I mean, the Browns are going to be doing it this year. So that's not a bad way. And it keeps your running backs fresh and healthy. And, you know, they're doing numbers. They're putting it on, and they're healthy. You could be seeing that all year long. So it's not a terrible thing, but you're definitely right. They're not going to be seeing as many numbers generated from it. Nick Bosa, defensive ends, you know, I coming from a team that's had a lot of great defensive ends, I see where it happens a lot of the time. They don't get the shares because a lot of times they're getting the ball ran away from them, or teams are just scheming against them. So, you know, it's going to be interesting, especially now that the teams know that he is the talent that he is, and it transferred over. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting pick, but you know, we'll see where we go with that one. John, what are you thinking?
I mean, I don't think Todd Gurley was the Rams' issue. I'm going to say that the first thing. I like this tag. I'm really happy with this tag. Running back 15, I think he's going to be fed carries, and he's going to – it's hard to have a team – it's hard to have a player not do well when he's handed 200 times. So I like this. Miles Sanders is really talented. I really like this kid. I liked him coming out of college, but I didn't like the situation he got drafted into. So this is a boomer bust situation. But Todd Gurley, I think he's going to be force fed the ball. Nick Bosa, nice, safe, defensive end is good. I'm a linebacker guy. I agree with Jared. I like tackles, and it makes me feel a little more consistent to see 14 to 18, a 20 put up instead of just the 9, the 6, and then a 40. So I'd rather not depend upon those kind of games. Mario, why did you tag these people?
Okay, well, Miles Sanders, I see that Doug Peterson's going to have to change some things after last year. He made it to the Super Bowl, and then he fell on his face. And I think he's going to have to look at the talent he has and utilize them better. I thought it was a safe pick because he did decent last year. And if the coach adjusts anything at all, you're going to want to protect the quarterback that you have because he's already been injured. And I think this is a safe pick because of that. Todd Gurley, that was a take or break for him. I mean, it could have been Terry McLaurin. However, I went with Todd Gurley instead because he could get me a bit of the lead in the beginning of the season going through, and then if he still looks healthy as all hell and he's trucking all the way, yeah, I'm going to keep him all the way through. He is a strong running back, a talented running back, one of the best that's ever seen the league, but he does have injury issues. And I'm going to want to watch that like a hawk. However, for the first games, I'm going to be so happy I sat on that tag, and he's going to be running all over other teams. And I'm happy with that. While I can adjust and pick up waivers and look through things as they will, as well as I should probably draft really intelligently. But I think overall, it's going to get me a good start. Nick Bosa, I mean, yeah. If I have a top DE, it's just as good as a linebacker, except they're made to get the quarterback. So I'm happy with that pick. I want to make sure he goes in there and takes as many quarterbacks as he can.
All right, fantastic. Well, that wraps up the Southern Division. We're going into the North. We are starting with the second place team in the league. Martin is the manager. The team name are the Yankee Raiders. They are first in this division, which is the Northern Division. Derrick Henry, RB12, George Kittle, RB2, and Blake Martinez, LB8. What do you think, John?
Yankee Raiders. This team kind of worries me. I like the George Kittle tag. I like the Derrick Henry tag, but the fact that I know that he paid a first and a future second for George Kittle, that's a lot for a tight end in this league. Blake Martinez, linebacker 8, good linebacker. New system, has problems with open field tackles. This kind of worries me for a linebacker. I mean, you want to be able to grab the guy, not let him get away. Jared, what do you think of this team?
For both his tags, I think it's a make or break year. We know what they are now. That's huge, and a lot of times you see that sophomore slump. So for me, that's where it comes. Can they both make that break a break? Derrick Henry, he is a monster. In the back end, he's fantastic. He'll run right over you. It has no problem doing it, or give you the big old hand to the face and just keep on running. I love it. He's north and south kind of running back. I'm just interested to see what's going to happen with that. And George Kittle, obviously, kind of same format, except he's catching the passes, and then doing that to you. So it's really awesome. It's going to be interesting to see how these teams play against these guys. It could be a big year or it could be a bad year for them. So I'm very interested to see how this one plays out. And Blake Martinez, he's a linebacker. Yeah, he has a little open field issues there, but he is a linebacker and he's still got his nose in the tackle, or at least in the vicinity of the ball, which is a good thing anytime you want to look. But, I'm having some fun. He's going to be an interesting person to watch out with. I just don't think, he's a Niners fan for one. So, Mario or Daniel, what are on your thoughts on this?
I think Derrick Henry's a beast. They did lose their offensive guard, Conklin, and I think that's a big deal. He had some pretty large open lanes, and I think that had to do a lot with the offensive line. He is a beast of a man. I think he's like 6'4", 265 or something like that as a running back, which is ridiculous. That's like defensive end size. But I think, he has all the possibilities to bludgeon the rest of the league and be the leading rusher again. George Kittle, it wouldn't be my tag. He's a Niners fan. He paid a first for it, which means that, he doesn't have a first round pick to be able to bolster the rest of his team at wide receiver or at running back. He is going to be a top, if not the top tight end this year, so at least he can, not worry about that position. However, it might suffer somewhere else just because of the cost for replacement might not be there. And then Blake Martinez, he's still a top scoring linebacker, even though he does miss more tackles than I bet he would appreciate. But he's a good player. He's got great instincts. He's always around the ball. And, partial tackles still count too. What do you think, Mario?
Despite Mariota's broken leg, I would agree that they have one of the best offensive lines out there. And with the loss of their guard, it's going to be really, really tough to duplicate the holes that they punched for him last season. However, Derrick Henry's a hell of a beast. He's going to get out there and he's going to get the ball and he's going to run. And if this coaching staff is smart, they're going to get it to him as often as possible. I think they've learned that over the past 2 seasons, 3 seasons actually, and really kind of seen how far he can go with the ball. And I don't think that's going to be any doubt this year. I just think that it's not going to be as often with the loss of the guard. Kittle, on the other hand, I think he's going to continue being one of the top receiving options for the 49ers offensive front, and I think he's going to get a whole lot of touchdowns, and I think we're going to see some interesting schemes against him, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop him. He's kind of a hybrid Travis Kelce who people actually like, and so I think he's going to do phenomenally. Then we go to Blake Martinez, who's just going to score points like crazy for his defense, and I think that was a good pick there.
Our next manager, Chas Uterus S. Grant, finished 6th place, second in her division. This is an interesting team. She has Ezekiel Elliott, running back 3, Austin Eckler, running back 13, and Shaquille Barrett, linebacker 40. Daniel.
The only reason why I wouldn't consider her team a top 3 team in the league is because she doesn't have a first-round pick. That would cripple other teams, but she's Elliott, RB3, 300 touches on the season. He's gonna be fed the ball. He's gonna score a lot. Last year, when Melvin Gordon was holding out Austin Eckler, it was Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler were the top running backs in the league, and it was actually pretty close. Austin Eckler was stellar the first 4 weeks of the season. Shaq Barrett, I think he's going to do a lot better than what the linebacker 40 rating is, and that's not just because I'm a Buccaneers fan. I think that they're not giving him as much credit. I do think that there are other better players out there, and she should address defense in her draft. But I do think that she has top 3 most powerful teams in the league as far as her personnel are considered. Mario, what do you think?
Oh, I can't agree more. I think Ezekiel Elliott is going to kill it this year. The Dallas Cowboys couldn't seem to get their passing game down last year. I think it's not going to change much this year. I think Ezekiel Elliott's going to continue to be fed. He's going to continue to get at TDs. He's going to continue to be a top running back. I think Austin Eckler is going to emerge halfway up where he is right now and be stellar, and I think that's a phenomenal pick, especially Melvin Gordon's out of the house, and I think it's going to be fantastic all the way through the whole season if he can stay healthy. Shaq Barrett is going to be holy Shaq Barrett, going through and just wrecking stuff. And I think that was a great pick. I think he's going to go halfway up as well to at least LB20 this coming year. So yeah, her choices are phenomenal, and can't wait to see what comes of them.
Ezekiel Elliott, I love it. Besides him being on the Dallas Cowgirls, I don't see much other than Ezekiel Elliott on that team. Don't get me wrong. There's Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, and it's just
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, but it's Dak Prescott. All right, he reminds me. I just don't like him. I don't think he's what everybody thinks he is, and he obviously they're not paying him, so they see something else that the fan base isn't seeing. Austin Eckler, can he repeat? This is a big year for him. He was able to, like you said, Daniel, sit there for the first couple weeks before Melvin Gordon came back, and that's when I picked him up. It's the week before. That's how John got that first round out of me. But hey, things will be things, and I think Austin Eckler, he can have a big year. He was You saw it. You saw a flash of it. And then throughout the year, you still see it. Saw it. It's just he was committee at that point, and they couldn't turn away from him. He had the hot hand, and when Melvin Gordon had it, they turned it over to him. But he's gone, so now it's all up to Eckler, and it's all the ball is in his court to make it or break it here. Shaquille Barrett is on Tampa, and Tampa was a hard defense last year. And they're hard-nosed. And guess what? He's at one of my favorite positions at the linebacker. I think he's going to be great. So I think that was a smart choice as well. All around, I think she had a great choice, a great selection with what she has. She don't have to worry about that running back. And wide receivers are wide open on hers. But we'll see what she plays out here and how she drafts. But defense wouldn't be a bad position either on this. John?
This is a phenomenal team. I stare at a team that I'm going to have to worry about. I mean, knowing that she has no first-round pick, it's going to cripple the team a little bit. But yeah, she paid that first round and a third round to acquire Ezekiel Elliott, to acquire a good tag player. So I think it was very smart. I mean, she sat on Austin Eckler all season. I think with Melvin Gordon gone, Eckler is going to get, again, 200 plus carries. And when you give a running back 200 plus carries, they're going to finish in the top 10. I mean, they're going to do really well. Shaquille Barrett, I love Tampa Bay. I'm a Tampa Bay fan, and I like the linebacker position. This is a smart tag. I really like it. His linebacker 40 number is not, it doesn't sit well with me. This kid finished at 17 last year. I think I project him to do about the same this year. I think he's going to finish in the top 25. He's going to put up good tackles, good numbers. He's going to get those sacks again. They're going to use him in the blitzes. So good rounded team. Our next team.
Well, I guess I'll take it over from here since it is my team. This would be the Lincoln's Renegades. This is Jared. I finished 7th in the league this year, and I ended up, I had to go with it. I had to go with Lamar Jackson at quarterback 2, Joe Mixon at running back 7, and Fred Warner at linebacker 7 as well. John, thoughts?
Again, this is a really solid team. If I didn't know that you lack a first and a third for trading for Melvin Gordon, I would say you sit very pretty, and this is a very solid team to worry about. But you tagged a good quarterback. You tagged somebody that puts up 529 points last year. That's a good reason to tag somebody at a quarterback position. You're securing your position for the rest of the year. You don't have to worry about it. And they're going to run the ball next year. It's going to be a great season for him. Joe Mixon, I think you found the diamond in the rough on your team. You tagged a really good running back that's in a good situation that's turning around. He has potential to do a lot, but now his floor could be a little lower. So that could be a question mark for him. Fred Warner, tackles. He's on a good team too. Niners have a pretty good defense. I really like him. This is a good team. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
I agree with everything that John said. Lamar Jackson is definitely worthy of a tag. Joe Mixon, especially with Burrow coming out and going to be there, teams are going to respect that rookie quarterback a little bit more since he's the first overall pick. They're going to be playing the pass more and hoping that Burrow makes a mistake and throws an interception, which is going to open up more running lanes for Mixon. I think he was a great tag, and I think that Fred Warner is a top linebacker in the league and a top defense in the league, and he's the middle linebacker. He runs that defense. I think these are all very good tags. I think you're going to have to be very smart about the beginning of your draft because you are going to have deficiencies, whether you go with a wide receiver in the second round or running back in the second round. You're going to be having to pick up wide receiver 2s and 3s or running backs 2s or 3s in the second round where your pick is. So I think you're going to have to be careful there, but I do really like the players that you picked. How about you, Mario?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I love Lamar Jackson. I really wish the Jaguars would have selected him. I think their entire future would have been different if they'd selected him. Right now, my Jaguars jerseys are going between my closet and my fireplace. So, it's been a really hard run these past couple years. Back and forth. So yeah, it's just I think he's going to be fantastic this year. Maybe not as fantastic as he was last year because teams are going to be gaming for him, but he's still going to be probably the QB3 to QB1 no matter what. I think he's just so talented that's going to be the case. Joe Mixon, I think he is a singularly fantastic running back who has the potential to be the best in the league. And in a team
where you don't know the ground from the sky, he is a safe bet. And you're going to be handing it to him pretty often, and he is a talent that's going to be taking them to actual touchdowns, which they're only going to be dreaming about otherwise. And then you go to Fred Warner, and he is a top 10 linebacker, and as we said, most of us would rather pick linebackers than any other spot on the defense because they tackle like crazy and they get you points. I think all of these were stellar picks. Good job, Jared, and back to you for your responses.
Well, I mean, I was in quite a pickle because, especially in my running back situation there, it was a tough choice, with Melvin Gordon there as well. And then Aaron Jones, definitely. That running back position was kind of hard to kind of sit through, but what set best with me and why I picked Joe Mixon was definitely because of the Taj Burrow coming in, and he sat there and I mean, God, he's already got weapons going in, and they built around him a little bit with his offensive linemen. So that only helps his running game too. So anyways, he's got the weapons there, and I think it's a great opportunity, especially now that Daniel brought up with Burrow coming in. Without a doubt, that's going to open up that game for him. And Lamar Jackson. I mean, it's Lamar Jackson. I mean, I could have also gone with Travis Kelce or the other two running backs that I talked about, but I had to go with a solid position and a solid numbers count, and I figured 500. He's already been proven to change his game around 180. He did it last year. No one thought he can throw, and that boy can throw now. So we're going to see how he plays out. Can he trick the league again? Can he keep elevating and tweaking his game just enough to keep the league behind him? It would be interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. And Fred Warner, I saw him. He was my dark horse. I knew I was going to tag him from the start. I was hearing a lot of good things coming out of San Fran. And then you see that defense and how they played. You're like, he was at the center focal of that, and I couldn't say no. My thoughts there were definitely right there on spot, and it came to fruition. So I had to go with Fred Warner and just keep him.
I like it. Our next manager is Andy. Can't cut the custard. 8th place. He had Saquon Barkley, running back 2, Julio Jones, wide receiver 3, and Budda Baker, safety 3. Jared.
Well, Saquon Barkley, I mean, God, that guy reminds me a lot of, kind of almost like Marshall Faulk. He can go out and catch you the ball. He'll go over you. He'll spin around you. He'll do something for you. Now, he's kind of an interesting player because, that team doesn't have a whole lot going for him, but they definitely got Saquon Barkley going for him. So it's a soft, safe pick there. I like it. Julio Jones. I don't know, man. Atlanta. I mean, it's Julio Jones. He's definitely the wide receiver there. He holds that crown. I've seen sometimes where I'm like, God, Julio, and then other times I'm like, that's just Julio, man. That he does his thing. Obviously, I'd still go with him if I had him on my squad and not, having to deal with the dilemma I had to deal with this year. He would definitely be on my squad. And Budda Baker, he's good. The safety position still kind of irks me, but that's another safety there. They tend to see, they can see the ball coming everywhere. So, it's not bad. And then S3, safety 3, I guess, we'll see what that plays out for him. Daniel.
Yeah, I think Saquon Barkley is a very talented player. He's definitely in the top 3 running backs of the league. He's very Barry Sanders-esque the way that he runs the ball, which is a massive compliment. Those quads he's got, man, his legs are yoked up and he knows how to use them. So Saquon Barkley is fantastic talent. He's top notch. I think Julio Jones is possibly going to have the best year of any receiver for this year. He's got Dirk Cutter back as his offensive coordinator. His best seasons were under Dirk Cutter as his offensive coordinator. And I think that's going to make a bit of a difference. In past years, he's kind of fallen off as far as touchdowns, but he's putting up ridiculous yards. And I think that we're going to see that regression kind of go away this year with coordinator that knows him so well. Budda Baker is a good, solid pick. He plays a lot of sub packages and a sub linebacker in coverage. He is ranked as a safety because he's a strong safety, and he's a solid pick as well. He's going to put up some points. Overall, I think this is a very solid team. I think it has an extremely high ceiling, and I think it actually has a high floor also. I think Andy did a very good job building this team and tagging these players. What about you, John?
I agree completely. I mean, when I think top tier running backs, I think Christian McCaffrey, I think Ezekiel Elliott, and I think Saquon Barkley. This kid is talented, and I think he even has Zangief from Street Fighter beat with the legs. I mean,
Yeah, he
these are
does.
some solid thighs that this kid's got. So Julio Jones, that's a good receiver there, top 10. I like it. He's got good hands, and he's going to catch that ball. Buda Baker, he puts up the points, and I'm not going to argue with the points, but I do like that linebacker position. So, get some help there, but not bad. Mario.
Okay, so Saquon Barkley, I don't think anyone could dispute he is one of the best running backs overall, all around, and I think he still has people like Sterling Shepard around him and Daniel Jones who can actually throw the ball. So I think when people go against the Giants, that's going to be a lot more varied, and that he's going to get a lot more options than he was before with Eli Manning under center. Julio Jones, I think Calvin Ridley is going to rob him a bit, and I think both of them are going to have terrific seasons. But I think Julio Jones is going to drop quite a bit. I think he's going to be WR 4 to 6, and Calvin Ridley is going to be somewhere from 9 to teens. And I think it's going to be really close. But Buda Baker, safety. Yeah, I'd rather get a linebacker, but not a backed safety. All right. So next is my brother Daniel with the Boston Teabaggers.
That's right. So unfortunately, the brothers both brought up the bottom of the league. I am 9th place, where my brother is 10th place. We were both last in our designated divisions. My tags are A.J. Brown, wide receiver 15, Kenyon Drake, running back 9, and my favorite tag for this year, Devin White, linebacker 5, my steal of waivers for the season. John, what do you think?
I still hate you. You told me at the draft not to drop Devin White, and I made a championship run, and I came into a week where I had an issue, and I had to drop Devin White, and look at your tag.
Now, I didn't say not drop Devin White. I said when you drop him, he's mine.
And he is yours. So congratulations. You have an amazing defensive player. Now, as for your offensive players, these kind of scare me. You have a good ceiling, or I'd say you have a really low floor. So they have good potential, but we're not really sure what they're going to do. We haven't seen Kenyon Drake in a full season of work. He was okay, and I like what Arizona is going to do. So he could have a really good season, but we don't know it. We haven't seen it. A.J. Brown is very talented, but I think they're going to change course. They're going to have to change up what they're doing with their offense there, so we're not quite sure what's going to come out of there. And again, Devin White, I raise my hat to you. It's absolutely phenomenal pick. You steal of the waivers. You truly are. You have a good pick. Mario.
Yeah. A.J. Brown, I think, is a huge risk. He's on Tennessee. Tannehill's been great. A.J. Brown's fantastic. I just haven't seen a lot of good come from that city. So I think that is a risk. He could be fantastic. He is ridiculous in talent. But we've all seen what the Chargers or other teams can do with ridiculous talent before they hand it off to another team that actually knows what to do with it. Kenyon Drake, I think he is going to be fantastic next year. He's going to be doing punt returns, he's going to be doing running back, and he's going to do both extremely well. Devin White, another solid pick. So with 2 solid picks and a question mark, I think you got a really good team there. You got to take chances to get championships. I just think I wouldn't have tagged A.J. Brown.
I will say AJ Brown definitely. It's Ryan Tannehill. Can he have a great stellar year? I think he's the only one there, and wide receiver, if I'm correct, over in Tennessee. Kenyon Drake, though, I think that's the scary one for me here, is the fact that he's in Arizona, a new offensive head coach that definitely loves the high flyers. He likes to go out and pass and attack about that passing game. And he's got Kyler Murray and all the weapons now behind him are out there doing it, catching the ball. So he's got weapons, man. Don't forget about Fitzy, man. No matter what, you can always trust Fitz. So Kenyon Drake, that's the scary one for me. Devin White, yeah. I listened to you when I heard you say that to John. It's like, don't you drop him. When you drop him, it's mine. And I listened to that. I was waiting for him to drop it, but sadly, you were lower on the waivers that week, and well, it shows. You're 9th place. So But Devin
Yeah,
White's a
that's
solid
right.
pick here. I like it. It's a good choice. Your defense is sure up there, and you don't have to worry about it because he is a linebacker. Daniel, what was your process of going through this whole thing?
Well, AJ Brown was super solid, and he was a rookie. Usually, when rookie wide receivers come out and they're super solid, their trajectory goes up very fast. I think the fact that he is one of my tags, speaks to how bad my team actually was. If I had better players, I definitely would tag them, but I do have high hopes for AJ Brown. I think that he has the capability to be a very, very strong wide receiver in fantasy. Kenyon Drake, he was traded from Miami and went to Arizona, and the last 4 weeks of the season, the two best running backs were Derrick Henry and Kenyon Drake. He put up a ton of points in that spread offense. It's what he's used to from his college days. He catches the ball and runs great routes, and I think their offense is loaded. Their quarterback, Kyler Murray, took too many sacks, but he can spread the ball around. They've got DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella, and Kenyon Drake. They're not going to be looking at a loaded box the entire season. There's way too many receivers that are threatening there. So I think he's going to have very nice space to run and even go out for passes. So I actually have very high hopes for Kenyon Drake this year. I think he has possibility of being a top 4 running back this year. Devin White is solid.
Yeah, I was thinking RB4.
My consolation prize for the season, I would say. And I'm very happy to have Tampa Bay linebacker 6th overall pick on my team. And I think he's going to produce very well. Once he came back from injury, he strained his calf and the team didn't want to push him. He came back and he improved every single week. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what that defense can do this year, as well as the offense with Brady and everybody else. But yeah, that's my process and how I picked it. And I definitely think I have 2 very solid, and I have 1 low floor, high ceiling as well.
I have to admit, you have a very nice rounded team, and that Devin White pick is phenomenal, by the way. So now that that's wrapped up, it's a perfect time to introduce our first power rankings for the Civil War Fantasy Football League. These rankings are done by myself and my co-commissioner, Daniel. We sat down and put all the numbers together. We looked at everyone's tags, and we looked at the draft picks that they had in the year, and we're projecting a list that is the current rankings going into the season. So we'll go over and try and speed through our list. We've read the team tags to you. So first name on the list. Hey, look, it's me, SC Slave Runners. I have 3 first-round picks with the 1st, the 5th, and the 10th pick. I have Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, and Devin Bush. I think that is a very pretty team, and it should be in the first spot.
I think so. I think it merits the first spot. You have a very strong team, very high scoring, and 3 first-round picks to shore it up. You're basically going to have, 5 first-round picks for your 8-man lineup on offense, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, can't agree with that at all. When I won my championship off of trading everything for Todd Gurley, I didn't have much of an advantage as you have right now. That is really impressive. So go to you. I tip my hat to you, and I can't wait to be the one person that beats you this season.
Danger, Will Robinson. That's all I have to say on this team.
I like it.
All right, our second team, our Union Ambush. They have 2 first-round picks. They traded away George Kittle during the season, and they have picks 7 and 9 overall. His tags are Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, and Jamal Adams. I think that Jamal Adams is the weak point as far as his picks, but again, super solid team, and I think John's got to watch his back.
This team scares me. I mean, plus the fact that he sits on 2 first-round draft picks, this is another thing that worries me. Teams with multiple draft picks, they're going to do really well. I mean, not all draft picks hit, but I mean, those players in the first round are usually your big boom players that do well. So they also big boom, big bust. So our third team on this list is Can't Cut the Custard. I got to say, I had another team picked here, but because of missing draft picks, this name fell into spot. And it is a well-rounded team. He's got Saquon Barkley, Julio Jones, and Budda Baker, but he's got his first-round draft pick.
Yeah, I agree completely. There's one team in particular that we all talk about that we're scared of, but she doesn't have a first round pick, so she kind of fell in the ranking a little bit. I think that's the only reason why she's not ranked 3 in this position. This is a very solid team. They've got their first round pick to build off of, and I agree with your assessment.
I'm worried. Every time I pop a championship, this guy follows right behind me. So it's gonna be nice to see what he does. So
That's right.
No, I don't know if I agree with that. I love the fact that he has two star power in 2 positions here. I think it's great, and I think this is a great position for him to be at. And second pick overall this draft.
All right, our 4th ranked team is Rogers Hard War. They have the 8th pick in the draft. His picks are Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, and Bobby Wagner. I think they're solid. I think there's a lot of risk, but he does have a first round pick, which I think helps his stock in this list. What about you?
if Dalvin Cook plays, this team deserves to be at this spot. If Dalvin Cook does not play, this team is going to fall and plummet. So I hope he drafts well with his first pick and the 8th pick.
I agree.
I think they deserve to be around number 8 or so.
Shade has been thrown.
Because Nick Chubb is going to lose a whole bunch of hands. Dalvin Cook, I think he's going to hold out at least for a short bit. And Bobby Wagner's stock will fall as he just becomes a veteran in the locker room. And I think all of these are rough picks for this coming year.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get some response to that. Our next team, Team 5, Boston Teabaggers, Mike Okamish. You have the 3rd pick in the draft. You have A.J. Brown, you have Kevin Drake, and Devin White. Gotta tell you, it's that Devin White that pushes you up. But, I mean, it's the hope that Arizona is going to do really well and that Tennessee keeps it going with what they did. So you have a very average team, shall I say.
I would say so. I agree. I have an average team, but the thing that boosts it is the 3rd overall pick. I think that makes a difference. The next team I think is a lot better, but the fact that she doesn't have a first round pick gives me a little bit of an edge, and I have at least a wide receiver 2 to fill my spot, so I can go either running back or wide receiver with that 3rd overall pick, and depending on what's left on the board. And I think I agree with your assessment. I have an average team. Next up at number 6 is the team that we're talking about that we all fear is Uterus S. Grant. She's got the 5th overall pick. She does not have a first-round pick because she traded for her tag Ezekiel Elliott, who is ranked as RB3, Austin Eckler, who I think is going to be much better than RB13, and Shaq Barrett, who's going to be much better than LB40. My one question and worry about this team is, when is the last time Mike McCarthy has actually had a top 10, top 5 running back since he's been coach? So I don't know how that's going to work out. I also know that he hasn't had the talent of Ezekiel Elliott on his teams, but that's a big question mark for me, and that would be the only thing that I would think that might hurt his stock a little bit. But I think that she has probably the 2nd best team in the league, just judging on picks.
Part of the reason I tried to shop Ezekiel Elliott. He is sitting on a high note, and you don't know what he's going to do. So I tried to take advantage of a situation, but I do think I didn't get enough when I did not get enough when I charged her for a 1st and a 3rd. So I think she got a good steal here. But Ezekiel Elliott, Studley Tag, Austin Eckler. I had this team at 3rd, but with no first round pick, she's going to have to make wise late round picks and pick those right guys that hit.
Mhm.
So smart manager.
Yeah.
I see this being a team that I have to worry about. So
That's right.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen her pick. She's done well for other teams that have made it championships.
exactly. Our next manager, our last place team, we have picked to take 7th place. And in our league, 7th place is the first round of the draft. So you will pick first if you are 7th. So 3 sheets to the win. You have the 4th pick in the draft, Miles Sanders, Todd Gurley, Nick Bosa. I like the team. I think you hold a first round pick. So what you do with your 4th overall pick, this is a big question mark. So you have the 4th, your brother has the 3rd, and I have a 5th. But both of you right before me. What do I do?
You're gonna tremble. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, I have the 1st overall, so I don't tremble to anybody. But with that
Yeah.
5th, I might shake a little in my boots. But
You will, because the first is always a bust.
Yeah, sure it is. I think he picked Elliott with the first overall pick not too long ago. Yeah, I think he's about 7. I would agree. He has a high first round pick. He's got boom or bust players, high upside, low floor. I think that's an appropriate number 7.
Low floor, and I agree. You have a high ceiling, low floor. So 7 was a nice spot for you. I think we tried to do well.
All right, next manager would be number 8, Stonewall Your Face. He has the 6th overall pick. His tags were Patrick Mahomes, Marlon Mack, and Darius Leonard. The thing that's dragging his team down is that Marlon Mack pick. He would be much, much higher if he had a better running back.
I agree. If he had something else there, he'd be a little higher on this list, probably a lot higher. Patrick Mahomes is very safe. I mean, it's not the Lamar Jackson, but it's still 440-something points. That was a very safe year. I accept that as my quarterback for the whole season. You're good and secure. So he's got his quarterback. He's got his linebacker. Draft a running back. You need something, and you're at 6, so good luck.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Lincoln's Renegades. Jared, we have you picked at 9. It's only because you hold no first, no third. You traded for Melvin Gordon, which wasn't bad, but
Not one of my tags. I know, right? Well,
Yeah, that's right.
Lamar Jackson, quarterback 2, Joe Mixon, running back 7, and Fred Warner. You have a solid team, dude. You really have a good team here.
Agreed.
yeah, I know I do. I thought it was great. I think I'm definitely where I belong, only because of the fact that I don't have those picks. But those aren't terrible, I still have my second round, so I kind of looped that. If it was a first and a second, I could see me being dead last here.
No way. Hey, I traded a first, second, or third, and I still finished in second place. So it's all in you don't win at the draft.
No, you win by following and listening and paying attention. That's what it is. So I'm having some fun. I just love football, man. I'm looking forward to the season if we get it. But yeah, man, it's definitely gonna be a fun year.
Wow, that's awkward.
Yeah. Shut your filthy mouth as far as that if is concerned. But yeah, I think with those losses of the first and third are the only thing that drag you down. I think that you have a better team than I do. You'd be higher than me on the list if you did have that draft capital. Next and last would be Yankee Raiders, our former second place team. No first round pick because they traded for George Kittle, who is tight end number 2. And Derrick Henry, running back 12, Blake Martinez, linebacker 8. It's just, I think that with the options that he had on his team, there was just a lot better pick than Kittle. But I understand the love for your hometown, and Kittle's going to be, he's still going to be stellar as a tight end and solid. I just don't know if he was pick worthy. I have a hard time looking at tight ends as picks. What do you guys think?
It's hard to draft with your heart. You can't draft with your heart. You got to draft with your brain. So I don't think George Kittle would have been my tag here, but he's got his tight end position covered. So I think he just needs to make some wise decisions with his second and on. So be good with his picks.
I'm just saying he's a Niners fan, so take that how you want it.
Now with that over and our Power Rankings 1.0 done, more to come in the future, we wanted to add some fun to this last segment and do a game with our guests. We brought on 2 truths and a lie, and we had our guests put down 2 truths and a lie about themselves, and they're going to try and stump myself and my co-host. And I thought I would make it interesting and wager with my co-host a water bet that if one of us is the winner, the loser would get doused with some water. So what do you say?
I'm down with it. Let's do that. I think it would be a good idea for you to guess on Mario's side, and I'll guess on Jared's side, since Mario's my brother, and I don't want any talk of cheating anywhere. So
Illusion.
When I win, I want it to be fair and beautiful, and yeah, I hope I can English channel you when this is all over.
I don't mind voting on both, but whatever you want to do is fine by me. So.
All right. Well, without any further ado, let's that's right. So we'll have Mario read off his 2 truths and a lie, and we'll go from there.
So my first year in the league, second year in the league, I had so many injuries that on my team, I once had first pick of waivers for 3 consecutive weeks. When Peyton Manning had his career season. I had him and Demaryius Thomas on my team, but the Kansas City defense made the difference in most of my wins. And then, when I lost 4 nerve clusters in my hands, my nerve endings healed 70% faster than what the doctors predicted most humans heal.
This is a tough one. I know you're like Wolverine. You heal quick, so I kind of believe that one. These are all believable. You did You did very well. You did very well. See, I believe all these because I'm gonna have to go with the waivers for 3 consecutive weeks as the lie. Correct.
Great job, my friend.
Fantastic.
Great job. Because that was 5 weeks, and that was a terrible season for me. It was so horrible. Everyone got injured. And I kept getting first place in waivers and trading them away so that next year I got the championship because I was able to trade 3 first-round draft picks and 2 second-round draft picks off of those waivers.
I love it.
So great job, John.
Love it.
That
That's
is
awesome.
absolutely
Go
true.
me. Phenomenal. Well, Jared, you're up. Can you stump Daniel?
I once traded Larry Fitzgerald for Brett Favre in Minnesota. I have started to go out for my skydiving license, or my next trip I'm planning is to New Orleans.
Oh, I am so screwed. Oh, these are hard. Let's see. I do remember something about Favre in Minnesota with you. Whether or not it's Larry Fitz, I'm not sure. I have no idea about the skydiving. And I know you like to travel and party, so New Orleans is something. However, there is COVID going on in the world. So I'm going to hedge my bets, and I'm actually going to go with the lie being that you're planning on going to New Orleans on your next trip, because I don't know when anybody's going to be able to take any next trip safely. And the other 2 are definitely believable, even though the thought of you jumping out of a plane is kind of scary to me. So that's what I'm going to go with.
You would be correct. My next trip isn't going to New Orleans. I'm planning to go to Tahiti. It's not that COVID situation, but I do plan on going to New Orleans sooner or later, especially for the Blues and Jazz Festival down there. I heard it's just out of this world insane. So I'm looking forward to that one day, but it's not my next trip.
Awesome. Well, John, you and I both got it in the first.
Amazing.
Well, John and I guessed the lies on the first guess each. I think that means that we get to pour water on our guests.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I find that shenanigans.
Thanks a lot, everybody. We'd like to say that our next episode coming out will be a mock draft 1.0. We will run through first 5 rounds of the Civil Wars League, and we will mock what each manager should be doing. We're hoping to have some guests on the show. We also have an email. We have ffwc23@gmail.com. Please send in your questions to the show. We'd like to have some questions answered on next week's show, whether it's about your team and you wanted to know something, or you have a rebuttal that you wanted to send into the show. Send something in, and thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day, and always remember,
stay vigilant, soldiers.